Welcome back to Bit by Bit Horsemanship. Forgive my technical difficulties. My mic malfunctioned, and so I will be recording a voiceover for this video. I've got Butty here again for his second session, and we're just going to go over some round penning and introduce a little bit of lunging and desensitizing. And today is a cool day. We had a cold front come through, so he is feeling super frisky and full of himself. So it will be an interesting one. Let me just clarify that the weather has a lot of impact on the mood and the behavior of your horse. So when it comes to training, especially one that is fresh and new and doesn't know much, they have a mind of their own, and they're going to work off of all of these feelings, and they feel pretty darn good when it's cool out, as you can see. So we're going to go ahead and get started and work off some of that energy that he is clearly full of today. If you would please excuse the video issues that I'm having. I'm having a camera zoom in to the wrong places, and I'm having to edit a whole lot out of this video. But I'm hoping you will be able to get to see a good portion of it and our session together with Butty. So right now I actually am just talking in the video too, and he's literally just running around me at his will. I'm not asking him for anything, and he's just showing off in front of the camera, but he's completely full of energy today. And that's just how I came out, and this was the most rambunctious I've seen him. So I'm just kind of talking and letting him run around. Here in just a minute, I'm going to start round penning, and I actually spend quite a bit of time getting some of that energy off. If you don't get some of that energy out of the way, you can't get their attention, so you can't teach them anything. So if they're full of it like this guy is right now, he's not paying attention to me. He is just full of energy that's ready to explode. So I just need to let him run it out and just kind of move him around, change directions, try to get his attention on me. But you'll see them act out and kick out and act a little silly. But if I want to be successful training him, I've got to let him work off this energy and wait until he can start giving me a little more attention and focus. And just like human beings, just hold their attention as long as they have the capability to give you focus. That's the time that you can teach them something. Once you go past that, you're not going to be quite effective, and until you get their attention and focus, you won't be effective at training them anything. So anyway, now I'm actually making him change directions and turn around. The good thing that's working for me is that he is young, so if I just move his feet and change directions a lot, that will tire him out quicker than, a 3-year-old thoroughbred who has got gas to burn for lots of gas. So a young horse, they do tucker out a little quicker than a full-grown horse, so that's working in my favor. But now that he's willing to stop and give me 2 eyes, I'm going to give him a break, and he goes to eating, and pretty much when he goes to eating, I start moving his feet again because it's another distraction. It won't be long, and all that little bit of grass that's growing in there, it'll be gone. And so he won't have that distraction. But I just continue to round pen until they start focusing on me. Then that's kind of my cue of when I can go get the halter, put it on, and start working on something new, because this is his second day, so he has learned to round pen, but he's not proficient at it. But you want to have some energy for the other exercises. So you don't want to spend all your time round penning and round penning and round penning. So it's a little balancing act to make sure that you still have energy for the rest of the session that you've got, but also you have enough of his attention to come back to you. And so right now I'm kind of like going towards his hip, and I'm actually asking to see if he would yield to me, yield his hindquarters and give me his face. And he decided to kind of run off. It tells me that he still has extra energy because he's willing to run. When they start to learn that if I give you two eyes, all I have to do is yield my hindquarters. It's a whole lot less effort than running around the round pen. They pick that up pretty quickly. So every time, so I'll go towards his hind end and he takes off because he's got just energy to burn. So then as soon as he turns around, yields his hindquarters, I back off the pressure. And a few times of that, and him showing some focus and a little bit of attention towards me, then I know we can start to kind of move into other portions of our session instead of just running and change of direction. So I keep kind of basically giving him an opportunity. Hey, are you ready to pay attention to me? And if he is, then we can go at a slower pace. But the more he ignores me, the more faster pace, more energy he's going to expel until he can start focusing on what I want him to do. So I also chased him off a little bit because he tried to nip at me. And see, when he came in with that attitude, jumping around like he's going to charge me, I sent him away again. That's not the way you approach me. And so I'm not going to reward that jumping up in the off of his front end behavior whenever he approaches me. He needs to look at me two eyes just like this. Now that is something I would reward, when you turn in, face me, and give me some respect. So that was a good on his part. So now I'm going towards in there. He's willing to. I had to edit a lot of that part out, more round pinning out of that section. So at this point, he is focusing on me. He's paying more attention. He's using his thinking side of his brain. And whenever I go in towards his hindquarters, he's yielding and still staying calm and focusing on me. So at this point, I determine that he's about ready to put the halter on. So I go to halter him. And as you will see here in just a minute, I put the halter on and it seems to be going well. And now he decides, nope, I'm not going to behave for that. So I chase him off with it because I want him to have an immediate consequence for rearing up in my face. That's not okay. So I'm going to chase him off. And then now he's going to have to work, because that behavior right there was really ugly, and that's the kind of behavior that can get somebody hurt. So that's something that needs to be nipped in the butt right away. I didn't actually have to whip him, but I just kind of threw the halter at him and chased him away, and now he's going to have to work a lot harder. So now you're going to see me actually getting onto him and making him run and stay in that lope. I'm not giving him an opportunity to come in and face me. He's actually having to work. So it's a bit of a punishment. So if you want to come at me like that, you're going to move your feet, sir. You are not going to get away with disrespectful behavior like that, especially whenever I'm just asking to halter you. Because that should be one of the easier parts of the day. And eventually he'll learn that and he'll just stand there so politely, because he'll know oh, the halter, this is a good thing happening right now. But right now he's kind of getting his punishment. So I'm giving him another opportunity. I don't harp on him forever. So I'm going to give him an opportunity, see if he's ready to be respectful. And let's try again. So I'm just going to go back to his hindquarters and see if we can just try that again all the way from the top and just get him close. And right now he's still deciding he's going to run and be naughty. So again, so he turned around and gave me his heels, which another sign of disrespect. So of course I cut him off and try to start that again. And again, when he gives me his heels, I really get after him pretty quickly. So I speed his feet up a lot. And then I'm making him do some changes of direction. Changes of direction definitely get them focusing back on you. And of course, he gave me heels again, so we had to try again. But they're gonna do this. This is his second day, as I was saying, and so I expect nothing less than a lot of mistakes. And from a pushy colt that is not very fearful, you're going to see a lot of little signs of disrespect because they feel like they've been the boss. Somebody's been coming in and giving them food and walking away for months now, and so that to them is showing signs that they can push you around. You're not a scary threat. You are somebody that just gives them what they want and walks away. So it's very common. And as you can see, he keeps he's repeating the same offense, which is turning his heels towards me. So I'm having to work really hard and chase his hind end and get him in direction. And then as soon as he starts to go the right way and turn towards me and give me some more respect, and you'll see it's almost like the light switch goes off. So he's making wrong mistake, going. And as soon as he makes a right mistake, a right choice, you'll see him, oh, that's what you want. Okay. And he'll replicate it. So he'll have to go through this little time of harder work of wrong decisions, just like in life, until he gets it figured out what the right thing is to do. Almost, there we go. There's one right decision. He turned towards me and then went in the direction I pointed. And then I apologize for this camera. I'm working on it. So hopefully we can get better. And we will have sound and a camera that keeps us in the view. So there he goes. So I rewarded him big time. I just stopped, let him have a breather, let him have a break and everything, because he finally turned, faced me, gave me two eyes, and is standing there respectfully. So he's getting a few minutes to air up and really let that sink in his brain that was the right thing to do. So now I'm going to move his feet out. I'm not asking a lot of him, so he's in a trot. And hi, Dozy. That's the dog. And now his feet are, who knows what happened, but hopefully we will be back in the view of the camera instead of Dozy, who's probably smelling poop. Okay, we're finally back in focus, and he has figured out, he's given me two eyes, so I'm giving him a bit of a rest, and we're going to try this again. So I'm going to grab the halter. He's moving in towards me, which is okay. He's coming in respectfully, and we're just going to give it another try and go back to the halter process. And he is backing up, but he's not really moving out real crazy. So we get the halter on. And the first thing that I'm going to do now that I have a new tool is to desensitize him to it. Make sure that it doesn't scare him and he's not worried about it, and he can just relax and understand that the tools are not here to hurt him or harm him, and there's nothing to be worried about. So I like to kind of touch him with it, throw it on him, swing it around, drag it around the ground, so that if they see it on the ground moving or whipping in the air, it doesn't mean anything unless I ask them to do something. So when I introduce new tools, I always like to remind them of this. Now, I sped the video up for this desensitizing section because this can definitely take a long time, and you've got to be patient and wait for them to just give you signs of relaxation, give you signs they're not worried. So if they move their feet or if they still look nervous, then you're not done desensitizing. And just like him moving his head, that's why I'm keeping the rope swinging until he just lowers his head, relaxes, and then I pet him with it and go back to it. So you want to be able to make several repetitions and with no movement and not getting worried or any signs of nervousness before you're ready to move on to another part of desensitizing or a new body part or whatever. You want to make sure that they're good and comfortable before you move on from the desensitizing part of a session. Now I'm going to go into yielding his hindquarters, and I would like to just use the rope or my hand instead of the stick. So yesterday I used the stick and string, and today I want to just use my body language with that end of the rope in my hand as my signaling and going forward. So the goal is not to have to use the stick, obviously. And so since he's moving off of it already on the second session ever, he's doing really good, and that makes me happy. So he's taking a couple steps, and I just ask for a couple steps and reward him with petting him until he's to a stop. So I want to do everything on both sides here, and so I'm going to go and yield his hindquarters from the other side. And I really exaggerate my body language. So right now I've got my leg cocked, good boy, and now I'm going in like I'm going to get you. I'm going to get your hiney, and kind of lock my eyes in on his hind end and give him body language like I want you to, you better move. And then I go to passive body language, which is cocking my leg, petting him, relaxing my body language, my breathing, everything relaxes. And then I'll get serious and I'm going to go after you. So I exaggerate this by quite a bit in the learning stages because they don't quite know our body language like not yet. And so the previous session I had a stick in my hand, so I actually had a further reach where I could actually tap him with the same body language. So then he's going to learn when I have that body language just to move and I don't have to tap him. So now I'm going into yielding his forequarters. This exercise is very important for all horses. It's especially a little more challenging for pushy horses because horses will use their shoulders and their head to push other horses around or push people around and whatnot. And you can see how resistant he is to move that forequarters over. So I'm really having to tap the air. Start with tap the air, and then I start tapping his neck and like right at his eye level so that he can't kind of block looking at me. He has to see my pressure in his eye, like he can see it right there at his eye level. So I start tapping the air, then I tap his neck, and then I have to increase my intensity until he moves over. So sometimes he'll walk forward. That's not what I'm asking for. So if he walks out of it, a lot of times I'll get the lead rope and back him up. Right now I'm over by the fence, so I don't really like that. I really want him to move out of the way. And if you see him do more backing than walking across, then you may be too far in front of them. Or if they're walking out of it, you may be a little too far to their shoulders, so they're just walking forward. So it just depends. But sometimes they are just literally moving their head around to the side, but leaving their shoulder. So sometimes you have to get even more in front of them to make them move that shoulder over. So because the lead rope wasn't really doing the trick, I went and got my stick so that I could keep some pressure tapping that shoulder while I'm also got my body at his eye. That way I can keep giving him the air pressure in front of his face, but I can use the end of that stick to tap his shoulder so that he feels physical pressure on his shoulder, that I want the shoulder to move away. Don't just bend your face away from me. I want your shoulder away from me. And so, like I said, this little colt is already learned to be quite pushy. So this is an extra challenge for him because he doesn't want to give up his power right there. By pushing horses or people or anything around with their shoulder, that's where they have power and control, and they learn that pretty quickly. So he's not wanting to give it up, but with enough time, he will. Anytime I have to tap him and use any kind of physical, like tapping force on his shoulder, I always pet it, and basically you pet it away like it never happened. So you don't create a problem with like head shy problems and whatnot if you can just make the correction until he does the right thing. You don't stop with the pressure until he does the right thing, and then just pet it away. Like it's basically like an eraser. Like, hey, this is not meant to hurt you. This is meant to make you move your feet, and I need you to move away from me. So there I had to tap his neck. As you can see right there, I'm having to tap his neck because he's not taking me seriously. And that is a pretty frequent issue with him. He does not want to take you seriously, so he just keeps pushing the envelope. So you're going to have to increase intensity with a horse like that or colt like that that's just not taking you seriously. Because as we saw earlier, he has zero problem in getting in my face. So sometimes you have to get in their face and make them take you a little more serious, that when I ask, I'm going to back it up, as in you're going to have to move. So I was satisfied with just a starting point on the left side of him. So that's why I'm coming over to the right side, and we're going to try it again on the right side. I got to get him away from the fence because I don't want him to feel trapped, and I also don't want to be trapped near the fence. Even though he's a small horse and he's young, he can still hurt you. So I definitely don't want to get trapped between him and the fence. So every time we kind of get in a spot that's not the safest, I usually try to get out of there, get him moved back to the center, and just start over. So and then, like I said, I'm going to use this stick, and he walked out of it, so I had to pull down on the halter. And when he walks out, I just want him to back up, and then I go right back into tapping the air and asking him move across. So it's almost like simultaneously. Like you back up, and in the same motion, as soon as he starts to walk backwards, I immediately start asking him to go to move across. And it usually works really well because he's already got the backward motion. And then whenever I give him that pressure on the in the air on the side, then they usually will step across just like that, really nicely. So again, start as gentle as possible, as in you're just tapping the air and giving a little bit of pressure in the air to say, hey, move over, please. And then just start tapping them gently on the neck, and it gets firmer and firmer as they move along. So I was satisfied with that last time. All I had to do is move that, tap the air, and he moved over. So now I'm moving into the backup. This is another excellent exercise for pushy horses or dominant horses that think that they're going to push you around or avoid you by putting their head way up high in the air. You just want to get them really good at backing up. It's kind of like a submission, that they are going to submit and move backwards, because if another horse pushes one horse and they step backwards, it's a sign of submission on the part of the one backing up, and it's also a sign of dominance of the one backing them up. So the more dominant they are, the more backup that they really need in their life. So this is his introductory lesson. So he's never had to do this before. So I'm just trying to start with a little wiggle pressure with the halter, and then back up. And right now I use I'm doing a little desensitize with the stick and string. I don't want him thinking that the stick and string has anything to do with movement unless I ask him to. So it doesn't actually take them long to figure out the difference, that just because the stick and string is swinging around doesn't mean that that means move. My body language is the signal. So I lost my video for a moment, so forgive me for this. So I ended up just doing more backup. We worked on that a little bit more, introduced it, and then finished up with some desensitizing to everything when he was nice and calm. All right, so we just finished our very first session with Butty, and this is his very first time being tied up. So after a little training session, I always let them learn a little bit of patience being tied. So since this is his first time, he is probably going to be quite full of antics. I have him tied to this tie ring, which if he pulls, it'll give him slack so he won't set back and hurt himself or anything like that. And he's got a long rope left to pull on. But usually once they realize that they're not really trapped, they don't pull, they quit pulling. So he's a baby, so I'm sure he's going to get into all kinds of fun things while he waits and learns some patience. So we'll come back and check on him in a little bit. But he can learn a little bit of patience. I'm going to tighten up his rope a little and let him stand there. This is it for today. Thank you for watching. If you're interested in Butty's progression or any more, please like and subscribe. Thank you.